Hello, I am Sonja O'Claire, Built Green Program Manager, and the few of us here who are joining, hopefully you are here for the remodel certification overview for our latest checklist that was launched in April of 2023. Basic housekeeping, we will be, please use the chat to submit any questions throughout. Jane with Bill Green will be monitoring that chat in case there are some critical questions that might need to be addressed at that time. Otherwise, we will save questions till the end. And if you have any technical difficulties, Ashley is putting some information in the chat to assist you. And she is also available if you are having any problems throughout the webinar. This will be recorded and sent out to folks at the after the event, along with the slide deck. So we will start with that. So first off, why should we certify a remodel? One, client satisfaction. The process of going through a certification process using a third-party verifier really provides your clients comfort in all the choices they're making, and their end result increases the value they feel that they got out of the experience, as well as making sure that they feel they got the result they were wanting. And from a builder perspective, it may also reduce your risk for callbacks and complaints because you've gone through this additional kind of process with them. The quality assurance, again, through that third-party verification process, ensures you achieve your client's project goals, and gives them that assurance, and hopefully builds a better relationship with you for future endeavors. For the client's resale valuation is also something that's improved when you want to certify a remodel. That could be through being able to list the home as green during that resale, as well as some appraisal opportunities too. Financial incentives are ever increasing as more focus is put on reducing the carbon emissions of existing buildings. So in some cities, expedited permits are available for projects that are certifying. There are tax credits available, rebates, and then for the homeowners, there are lower utility bills at the end of this. There are also green lending programs that offer discounts to the cost of getting a construction loan or these upgrades. And then also all of this sort of helps provide a positive return on the investment of the energy efficiency upgrades and the changes they're making to their home. From a contractor perspective, there is some marketing advantage given to builders who go through this process and actually certify their projects. One, you can develop brand value through the awards and case studies that might be offered specifically to projects that are certifying through Built Green, or you may even be able to leverage that for non-Built Green publications. The other thing is that increasingly we are seeing more consumer demand for green homes and contractors who can deliver on those kind of green goals that those consumers have, whether it's healthier materials and indoor air quality, those lower utility bills through efficiencies in their home, and just feeling like they had a good experience with the contractor they worked with. And that all sort of provides a builder who is working through this process a marketing advantage, and that they can leverage to grow their business or maintain a healthy clientele. So what changed between the new version and the old version? So for those who aren't as familiar with the older remodel checklist that Built Green used to have, it was third-party verified, and it did have a long list of credits, similar to our new construction checklist, that was a list of some requirements, but then also voluntary credits that could be that had points associated with it, and you had to earn a number of points to earn a star level that communicated kind of how green the remodel was and what the performance was expected to be. That checklist was not as flexible to many remodels. It really required significant amounts of modifications to the house to even qualify for the amount of points needed to certify. And we just found that there were not a lot of projects that were selecting to go this route. And it was sort of hard and complicated to understand how you could earn enough points or to kind of match it to the project scope. And so that was sort of the original system. In the new checklist that we launched for the 2023 version, we completely changed the program and the certification process in terms of the checklist itself. It's still third-party verified. That is a calling card of Built Green, and that does provide the quality assurance that we offer consumers and the builders who are going through this process. However, there are no star levels. There are no points. It is essentially just a list of requirements, and the project will either meet those requirements or it won't. And the other thing we changed to simplify the process as well and provide some cost effectiveness to homeowners is that there are no energy modeling requirements. So it's more of a list of prescriptive requirements. However, there are flexibility within how you achieve some of those requirements. It still uses a holistic criteria. We're still looking at energy, site and water, materials, and indoor air quality, as well as some basic homeowner education around what has changed in their home. And then our certifications have changed. So we offer a remodel certification and some standalone retrofit certifications. So we have a water efficiency retrofit, an energy efficiency retrofit, and those are actual certifications, all three of those, that can be earned as standalone certificates. The next thing we have is some energy label add-ons. These are not certifications that can be earned as a standalone, but they can supplement or add value to a remodel certification or an energy efficiency retrofit certification. And those energy labels we have two of them. One is the familiar net zero energy label, which is exactly like the one we offer for new construction, as well as a newer label that we can offer remodels, which is a zero carbon emissions label. And that really looks at the home not emitting operational carbon. So this is just a very fast overview, and we'll be going into more depth on all of this. So the certification process is just like the standard certification process if you've gone through this before or are familiar with Built Green. If not, the first step is you're going either the homeowner or the builder that they're working with, their general contractor, can join Built Green. They do need to have a membership. We'll go over some of that immediately right after this. They're going to join Built Green so that they can enroll the project in the program. Then they need to hire a verifier. And during the construction, that verifier is going to work with the homeowner or builder to track the green features, save those pertinent documentation, and photograph the pertinent items related to certification. At the very end, when the project is complete, the verifier and the builder, the verifier, and the homeowner will sign the checklist and submit those the checklist as well as all of the documentation to Built Green. Our program then reviews that documentation and issues the appropriate certificate. I cannot stress enough how having your Built Green verifier involved in the project as soon as you are designing it or thinking about it is going to prevent costly redesigns and retrofits as the project progresses. So the sooner that a client or a builder can get on board and really decide that they want to go Built Green, the easier it will be to achieve, and they won't have to necessarily have redesigns because it wasn't discussed up front. So for builders, you know, during those initial client meetings, sort of sussing out what are the homeowner's goals and does the certification fit in with those goals is a very great initial step. Some of our Built Green remodelers from the past have actually just incorporated it into their business, and it's a standard product offering. And really it's just incorporated into the costs of their remodels. And so it's never really an additional line item for homeowners. It's just a service they provide. So to make the remodel certification more approachable to homeowners who are, you know, in many cases acting as their own general contractor or really the ones pushing the project forward, we have actually extended a new membership category entirely, really targeting homeowners as well as low volume remodel contractors or architects who may be facilitating some of these processes for the homeowners. And so we have our traditional Built Green membership, which is really intended for, you know, our builders, contractors, architects, and designers who want the full package of benefits that Built Green provides, and our higher volume builders or contractors that are doing these projects routinely. And so, you know, they can enroll, the Built Green membership can enroll all types of projects. So if you're a contractor doing both new construction and remodels, this is the membership that you need to select. Membership fees are the same as what, if you are familiar with Built Green, it is $250 for the membership, $200 per unit to enroll and certify with us. Or if you're an MBAKS member, it's discounted to $100 annual membership and $75 per unit. And I should have clarified, memberships are on an annual basis. So getting to that note, membership for a Built Green member is due to be renewed annually through from enrollment through the certification. So if the project takes more than a year, you are expected to maintain that membership and renew to be able to get your certificate at the end. Then you have the other list of complimentary benefits that a Built Green member enjoys, as in being listed in the Built Green directory so that folks can find them if they are looking for somebody who is, you know, participating in our program or value set. You also get discounts on the Built Green events, such as conference or, you know, other educational offerings that have charges related to them. You get to use the Built Green member logo on your website, publications, or any sort of branding that you have associated with your business or your projects. You are also eligible to get Built Green awards. So what that means is that your projects are included in the pool that Built Green reviews annually for its Built Green Hammer Awards, and also case studies. So that would be only available to actual Built Green full members. For a Built Green remodeler, again, it's really designed for a homeowner who might be doing a one-off project, who isn't in the industry, or it's for, you know, a contractor doing a handful of these, or, you know, a one-off for a client who's asked for it, or even an architect who is just sort of helping that client facilitate the building process. They are only allowed to enroll remodels and retrofits, and they get to have a membership fee of $100 and a $75 per certification enrollment fee. So what that means is it's not per unit, which is typically like the property, or if there's multiple units on a property, there's multiple enrollment fees. This one, the remodel charge is per certification that they are trying to, achieve. The other big difference is that the membership fee is only required at time of enrollment. However, they must complete that certification within 5 years. If they take longer than 5 years, they need to re-enroll with a new membership and a new certification fee. And it, depending on if the program is changed, there might be some stipulations there, but they have within 5 years. So for a remodel, like a homeowner who's interested in this process, the built green fees associated with this process would be $175. However, they do not enjoy any of the other benefits that are offered to industry members. So they are not listed in the Built Green directory, which for homeowners, that may be perfectly fine for them. They won't receive any discounts on Built Green events, like the conference or other educational opportunities. They can't use the member logo, as well as they will not be eligible for the Built Green Hammer Awards. So again, if you are a contractor who is looking to use Built Green or the certifications that your remodel certifications to offer that marketing advantage to your business, we do not recommend using the Built Green remodel membership so that you can, obtain more of those marketing benefits. Currently, this is not available. However, it should be in a couple weeks. If you have a client who's interested, please have them contact us. We can offer it manually. Again, it's not, you won't see it online as of today, but it is available. So what's the difference between a remodel and a retrofit in terms of what Built Green qualifies under our certifications? So a remodel is going to be more of an extensive, disruptive project. It's going to improve the look and the feel of the home and increase its efficiency. And it's going to have a longer list of requirements across the whole home. Whereas a retrofit is going to be smaller, maybe less disruptive project, depending on what they're changing. It's only focused on improving energy or water efficiency, and it's a much shorter list of requirements that, again, specifically target energy and water use. So these are two different categories depending on your client's, aims. They can selectively choose which path makes more sense to their goals. So remodel certification, what does that sort of look like? It does not require a major renovation. Again, this was a change that we intentionally changed from the previous version. So it's more flexible to a variety of scopes and sizes of projects. It is applicable to aesthetic changes and the home's major system. So it is not going to be applicable to homes just doing aesthetic changes. They still need to address the major systems of energy efficiency, water efficiency, indoor air quality concerns, as well as their material selection. Existing material allowances for previous upgrades or areas not being changed have been provided. And this is, again, another big change that we made, because we know that sometimes homeowners have made changes in the past, or there are things already in place that don't need to be replaced, but can be recognized for the value they bring. A retrofit certification, again, limited scope. This is really designed for the clients who are happy with their home, as sort of like they like its look and feel, but maybe they're just trying to increase that efficiency level. They're trying to lower the bills, but they're not maybe doing a lot of aesthetic changes. Energy labels. So the zero carbon emission label can be paired, it must be earned with a remodel or energy efficiency certification. It requires the home to be 100% electric. You cannot have any existing or new fossil fuel equipment in the home. It also must be pre-wired for EV charging. So those are the only requirements to earn the zero carbon emissions label, in addition to those other certifications. The net zero energy label is, again, you need to earn it along with a remodel or energy efficiency certification. It does require the home to be 100% electric. And then the additional, and this is the one exception to my kind of statement of no energy modeling required, is that we do have to have the home modeled to be net zero energy over an annual basis using either ERI or HERS of 0 or less. So that's the one case where we do have to have an energy model associated with the program so that we can show that it's modeled to be net zero energy. So what are some use cases in terms of these different certifications? So again, energy efficiency improvements only, that's going to be air sealing. You might be looking at the furnace or the HVAC system, the water heating system. Those are, if that's all they're really looking at or wanting to change, then they could do the energy efficiency retrofit. If they're only looking to address maybe some landscaping water use and their indoor water use through plumbing fixture upgrades and just reducing and some landscaping upgrades to reduce their water consumption, then the water efficiency improvement. In the case where it's maybe a few rooms in the home, but not the whole home or a significant portion of it, but there's still, maybe changing the walls or the flooring in a couple rooms or some cabinets. That is a scope that is open to multiple opportunities. So they can either do a full remodel if they want to address all of the, the changes they're making. So that would include, again, the material selection and some indoor air quality. However, they can also choose to not, make those material choices, and they can instead just target the energy efficiency or water efficiency upgrades for their whole home, still have a certificate, but maybe they don't, their budget or concerns doesn't allow them to consider the whole remodel. So they actually have 3 different choices in that scenario. In additions, that is going to be in the full remodel certification category. Now, how that works is essentially the addition is going to be where you're really looking at the material selection, but the other parts of the home that are not being changed, if that's the case, can they would fall under the existing allowance clause of the certification program, and but you still have to address the whole home's energy efficiency and water efficiency. So while some of the checklists will only pertain to the addition or any new materials brought in or new sections of the home, the energy and water efficiency is for the entire home, whether that's being changed or not. In the case of an attached accessory dwelling unit, there's a couple scenarios. If that attached dwelling unit will not be separately owned by another party, it's a part of that house and it's sold together, and it also shares the HVAC with that primary unit. So this would be like maybe they just converted a basement into a mother-in-law, but it's all one unit still. It would qualify under the remodel, and again, it would act like an addition in the way that I described how the checklist would apply. If, however, that accessory dwelling unit is being separated from the main house, so it will have its own separate address, it will be what's called condoized, and it doesn't share the HVAC system, it has its own separate kind of system, then it would actually go under our new construction checklist as an ADU only certification. So again, that would have to qualify under the new construction checklist, which is also sort of already happening for homes. So that hasn't really changed. What does change is if you are doing just an attached dwelling unit and it's just more of a remodel scenario and not you're not condoizing any part of the house. Major renovations are where we get into kind of a different kind of scope. And this is a major change for some of our builders who are familiar with the remodel certification of the past. Anything that let's see. So if the existing structure or footprint is changed less than 75%, so that means that less than 75% of the home or structure is changing, it is considered a remodel, and it needs to be the full remodel certification. If, however, it is more than 75% of that existing structure or footprint is changed, which basically comes down to more of a developer-led remodel. So that would be you're essentially tearing out everything and leaving behind a foundation or bones, maybe some rafters or a roof. Those sort of big renovations where essentially you just have a house of like the skeleton frame of a house left, that is going to be now under the new construction checklist as a new construction project. And how that would work is you would claim the credits in the materials section related to building reuse, as well as any salvage materials that you're reusing. But there is a, I think it's worth like 15 points in the material section for essentially what was left of the original house and anything reused in that construction. So there's salvage material credits as well as deconstruction credits. So that would all be under the new construction checklist for those really major renovations that just are from a stick frame. So getting into the existing features allowance, existing equipment that meets performance requirements and has not exceeded its service life, such as like HVAC or domestic hot water heaters or appliances, or even just interior finishes, may be left and may still, it does not preclude that home from being certified through the program. So there are some limitations though. So the existing material, so for HVAC systems and domestic hot water systems, they do have to have a performance requirement and not be too old. The other sort of non-mechanical systems, they need to have a couple limitations. So existing materials, like let's say flooring or cabinetry or something like that, that would not impact their eligibility for the program, because there are some material exclusions that you cannot use certain materials in the home. But if they're already in the home and it was done prior to the homeowner owning the property, those materials can be excluded. If it was done within the last 6 years and met code requirements at that time, so let's say they upgraded their attic insulation, and at the time of certification or at the time of that install of the new attic insulation, it was done to code, they don't have to necessarily increase the insulation if it was done within the last 6 years. And that's really to acknowledge the fact that our energy code has progressively, increased And so 6 years is within the last couple code cycles. And so that is already a significant improvement for an older home that might have been built in the 40s or 60s or earlier. Any materials done prior to enrolling for Built Green certification, and that has a caveat of you do need to enroll the project prior to most of the major renovations being done. And that's really to curtail kind of the intention of skirting the requirements. The last kind of stipulation for existing materials is it does need to have at least 10 years less left in its expected life. So anything that, you know, isn't going to necessarily last another 10 years should be considered to being replaced if it's possible. The other thing we created is what we call a stepladder approach. And again, projects have 5 years from the time of enrollment to certify or to to even upgrade a certificate. And so energy and water retrofit certifications can actually be earned first and used to meet the remodel certification requirements for energy and water at later certification dates. So what that means is that a homeowner who maybe just kind of dips their toe in and does some energy retrofits, if within 5 years they've maybe done some other changes, they can use that energy efficiency retrofit certification as documentation for the energy section in their remodel checklist certification. So it kind of supplants that, and they don't have to do any more. So you can upgrade certifications. So you can go from just having an energy or water and get an energy, or on top of one, so that you have both retrofit certifications, or you can take those retrofit certifications and upgrade it to a full remodel certification if they then qualify for all the other requirements of a remodel with those changes. So this offers sort of again, we're trying to recognize improvements homeowners do over a longer period of time, because we want to be material efficient and cost effective when we're looking at what we require to certify. So what are the actual requirements? This is going to be the main big bullet points, but please know that this is not all of them, and that you really need to find the details in the checklist, but this is going to be some of the bigger items. So again, we talked about it's flexible. So a star on that checklist in the item number denotes a requirement that applies to all projects regardless of scope. So that means that no matter what type of remodel you're doing, whether it's a few rooms, whether it is landscaping or no landscaping, or different kind of scenarios, those items marked with a star apply to all projects. Like I mentioned, these are just the basic requirements. Projects must be enrolled in Built Green prior to major alterations taking place. It is third-party verified by a Built Green verifier. We have a list on our website if you're not familiar with them already. It does need to meet all applicable codes, permit, and incentive requirements. And then every project needs to hire, contractor, purchase from at least one contractor or vendor that is a women, minority, immigrant, veteran, LGBT plus, or cooperatively or employee-owned business. Now, this is only for remodel certification. This is not a requirement for retrofits. So some of the big bucket items for energy efficiency is you're going to be bringing up the attic and crawl space insulation values to current code requirements. So what that looks like is in July 2023 with the new code, that will require an R60 attic with an R30 crawl space. Existing material exemptions in this category is if you had an R49 attic already, or an R30 crawl space, which is kind of the current code cycle that we're in. And so if they've already done that, then they don't need to do any more. They can if they choose, but that would be acceptable. Now, while they don't need to do a full energy model, we do have a blower door test. They need to do an initial blower door test to establish a baseline, and then they will have to do a test out. So for homes built prior to 2009, they have two different pathways for older homes, and that is they can either have a test out blower door score of 7 or less, or they can show a 20% improvement from their initial baseline. So that allows some flexibility for older homes. Now, homes built after 2009 do require an ACH score of 5 or less, and any homes built 2015 or later, and this is more for future proofing the checklist, is they need to score a 3.5 or less on their final blower door test. I recommend just having your homeowner do a full home energy audit with that blower door test included. If they have ducts, I would also have them do a duct blaster test so that you can look at the ducts, because the next item is that any ducts in unconditioned space must be leak tested, so a duct blaster test, and they need to seal them to limit leakage and insulate them. And that's for ducts in unconditioned space. You'll need to also make sure all the built-in lighting fixtures are 100% LED. And then any new appliances brought into the home to either replace or newly installed ones that were not there previously must be Energy Star. And this also is for exterior doors, windows, and major electronics and any central AC. You are not allowed to bring any new fossil fuel combustion powered infrastructure, appliances, fireplaces, or mechanical equipment into the home. What that means is that anything existing can stay, but if they are being replaced or added, they need to be electric only. So specifically for HVAC, you need to commission and tune up the HVAC that is remaining in place. You need to remove all atmospheric venting HVAC because it's not we do not want those in homes anymore. Existing natural gas equipment may remain if it has some service life left and the equipment has an EF of 0.9 or higher. The new HVAC system must also be sized appropriately, show a minimum reduction over an existing baseline, as well as have an UEF of 2.0 or higher, and be on the NEA cold climate list to ensure appropriate performance and comfort for the homeowner. Water heating. You need to insulate all new indoor water supply pipes, so anything again that is being modified or modified and added. Anything that is existing that is an unconditioned space or exposed during construction needs to be insulated as well. You need to commission or tune up any hot water heater that is remaining in place. And then again, all atmospheric venting hot water heaters must be removed and replaced. Existing natural gas equipment may remain similar to the HVAC, same requirements. But however, if they are doing a new water heater, it must be electric, and there are 4 different options here. Site and water requirements, model at least 30% reduction for indoor and outdoor potable water. Using the Built Green total water use worksheet. Your verifier can fill this out for you. It is just an Excel spreadsheet that they need to fill out with like your plumbing fixtures and some landscaping details to show how much the home saves water over a baseline. New plumbing fixtures must be low flow and water sense labeled. And kitchen faucets are not water sense labeled, so they're limited to 1.75 gallons per minute, and pot fillers are excluded for some of those higher end kitchens. Salvage fixtures may be used in the home if you can still achieve the total water use reduction. So again, that modeling of the water kind of allows some flexibility for maybe some specialty fixtures here and there, whether it's salvage fixtures or maybe a fancier shower head. No new asphalt paving. Any existing asphalt paving that is in good shape can remain, does not affect your certification about eligibility, but you can't add new asphalt. So you'll have to pick a different pavement type. The other thing in relation to water quality is we do not allow any new copper roofing or asphalt shingles that are impregnated with copper or zinc granules, which are some of the newer asphalt shingles that have like the algae or moss fighting resistant granules. These actually have a lot of copper in them, which enters our water and our fish and all of the stream beds that we appreciate. And then when impervious surface area is increased, such as like in addition to the home, then 60% of the new stormwater must be mitigated on site. So again, of the new stormwater associated with that impervious surface increase. Landscaping modifications are only required on certain sites. So landscaping, again, has always been a tricky part of remodels, and we understand that. And so there's, it can be included, and there are many there are a number of items related to landscaping, but if landscaping is not a primary concern of the client, the only times they're required to really modify the landscaping is if the site has more than 50% turf grass. Drought tolerant blends are excluded. They have artificial turf or impermeable lining covered in rocks, that needs to be removed and re-landscaped. Soils that are disturbed by construction or exposed need to be kind of modified and either covered in mulch or amended so that they can operate effectively again. And then if there is an irrigation system present or being installed, there are some stipulations for that. Indoor air quality requirements. You will need to identify moisture, air sealing, and insulation problem areas and correct them per code specifications. We don't want homes to just, we don't want remodeled homes to be leaky or, have mold issues in the future. So if we can rectify those, they should be rectified. Install a whole home or under sink moisture or leak detectors. That would be, also at hot water heaters as well. For attached garages, there are a couple different parameters, but the main one for if there is an attached garage, it needs to be insulated and air sealed from the main house as if it's an exterior wall or door. And that's primarily just that shared wall. It's not like the entire attached garage, and it's the shared walls of the garage. Any new kitchen exhaust fans are limited to 300 CFF. New spot fans must be Energy Star under 110 CFM and less than 0.6 SONS of noise. New insulation, carpet, paints, finished wood, and finished materials that are brought into the home. So again, new products must be at least either CARB compliant, CARB 2 compliant, Green Guard Gold, no added urea formaldehyde, low VOC, or they can have a health product declaration or be red list free. Again, these are just trying to make sure the new materials brought into the home are not negatively contributing to indoor air quality. Waste requirements, there are a couple to keep in mind. They do need to conduct a salvage assessment for any areas that are being demoed, or you know, especially if it's an older home that might have some really good architectural features, or usable appliances that maybe are just getting upgraded, but they're still usable for others. You need to use deconstruction and salvage to salvage those reusable items. The homeowner or the builder needs to create a job site recycling and documentation plan and maintain that through the construction process, so that the verifier can verify that they had an overall recycling rate of 50%. for at least 85% of all the waste generated. So this is demolition waste and new construction waste. So they do need to have 50% overall of 85% of the total waste. So that does allow some flexibility for things that come out of homes that just cannot be recycled. New material requirements. So this is all the new materials coming into the home, and these are the restrictions on some of those. You cannot use any endangered or conflict wood species unless it's from salvaged sources. You cannot introduce any new PVC or vinyl products for flooring, siding, fencing, and decking, specifically those product categories. You can also not use PVC for any indoor water supply or drainage pipes. Sink traps are excluded because we have some plumbers who are just won't do anything else, and there's also some kind of risks associated with not using some of those systems yet. Any foam insulations used, that could be rigid or spray, must have a global warming potential of less than 6. However, this excludes miscellaneous use of foam for just small air sealing areas. So like around outlets or doors or windows, or to, patch up little holes for air sealing. So in terms of the larger finished material categories, so your cladding, your siding, your roofing, insulation, drywall, millwork, flooring, countertops, cabinets, or decking must have at least one environmental attribute associated with them. They can have more, but they need at least one. And that could be, they could be rapidly renewable, with a, short growth cycle. They could be carbon storing, and there are some definitions out there for that. But examples would be like cork, wool, hemp, straw bale, cellulose insulation is carbon storing. Salvaged or reclaimed, they could have a recycled content in them. They could have they could be a certified wood product. The material could have a life cycle of 50 years or more. The material could be locally sourced or made. So it could either be locally sourced wood and made elsewhere, or it could be made, just made here locally, or both. The other one is the material has an environmental product declaration, also known as an EPD, and that's related to calculating like the embodied carbon of that product, and it's a reporting aspect. So I'm going to pause here and see if there's any sort of questions that people have over that, because I'm going to dive into something different now. And feel free to like put it in the chat or unmute yourself real quick. Okay. We will have more time at the end if you come up with some. All right, so I wanted to give folks a really fast overview of some of the money available towards these items that are in the remodel certification or energy efficiency retrofit that can be leveraged to achieve these certifications. So in providing additional value to clients, this is something that can be brought into the conversation in terms of either when you make recommendations for these changes or have these discussions, or even in terms of should we certify or not. We just actually published a extensive blog post called Going Green for Less that this information is pulled from. It goes over so much of the federal, state, local dollars, as well as some lending programs that are available for both new construction and remodels, and pairs it with the items in our checklist. And so you can really kind of see how there are different things in the checklist that can be done and receive money for. So to help offset the cost of both the certification and the energy improvements. So please read that if you have not already. It is we have been told it's a great resource. For builders, City of Kirkland offers expedited permitting for certified projects. And I saw Beth Jarrett from Tacoma on this, and I believe it's also in Tacoma as well. They have some incentive programs there. So definitely if you're a builder, certification can offer some permit benefits for that time and value proposition. There are, like I mentioned, energy efficiency loan and mortgage products specifically designed for these type of energy efficiency upgrades or retrofits. Some of the programs provide delayed payment for income qualified individuals. Those are typically offered by the cities themselves. So I know City of Bellevue has one, and Tacoma Power has one. They also may offer discounted rates or fees associated with a project that has energy efficiency built in to their construction plans. So again, these can save homeowners thousands of dollars towards these upgrades and improvements on their home. Through the Inflation Reduction Act, the amount of money that is available through either tax credits or soon to be instant rebates and discounts are in the 5 digits for homeowners and property owners. So for low and moderate income households, there are over $22,000 in tax credits, utility rebates, and the Inflation Reduction Act instant discounts available. Like I said, some of those instant discounts are being distributed through the state from the federal government, and so we should see more information on those, particularly in early 2024, but the tax credits are available here and now. So for higher income households, it's really only tax credits and utility rebates that are available to them, but there's still over $10,000 worth. And all of these tax credits, utility rebates are available for, again, things that we're requiring through these certifications, whether it's a home energy audit for your blower door testing, baselines, your heat pump, HVAC, and domestic hot water equipment, air sealing and duct sealing, insulation, windows, which is the weatherization programs, LED lighting, some of the utilities offer some discounts there. Energy Star appliances, some of them are point of sale discounts, others are rebates or tax credits. Induction cooktops also have money available for them. WaterSense toilets for some jurisdictions that have there with the Saving Water Partnership. Irrigation timers also have some discounts on them, as well as on-site energy generation, aka solar in most applications, and electric vehicles and chargers. So just to kind of do a quick synopsis, so let's say that you were doing a remodel or an energy efficiency retrofit, but you wanted to get one of these labels. And this is sort of how that blog kind of puts it. So here are some of the items related to getting these labels. So as just to remind you, the zero carbon emissions label requires you to be 100% electric and to pre-wire for an EV. So actions associated with getting that a little bit additional performance would be you could get up to $4,000 for an electrical panel upgrade that might have been required for older homes if they went 100% electric. Those are income qualified, so that's more of an instant discount, which will be available next year. Electrical panel upgrades is available now and to everyone, and that's $600. Again, it's a tax credit. Electrical wiring upgrades, there will be a discount for up to $2,500 for income qualified individuals, as well as a tax credit for up to $1,000 for an electric vehicle charger. So when we get into net zero energy, there is some additional rebates associated with that. And so you can get up to 30% of the cost of solar covered, and that includes the electrical panel upgrade to get that solar. To go 100% electric, you can still get those wiring upgrades and the vehicle charger. And then on top of that, there is a rebate that will be available to low to moderate income individuals for modeling their energy reduction. So again, for our net zero energy label, you are required to model that performance. And so you can actually get up to $8,000 the client can get up to $8,000 on their personal tax for a rebate for that. Lastly, resources. All of these things that I talked about are on builtgreen.net, our website. So you can download the checklist. It's a simple Word document, so you should be able to, anyone can download it and open it. We are not publishing a specific handbook related to the remodel checklist. That is actually being replaced, what's being used instead of that is our current Built Green Eco Tool remodel tool. Very homeowner friendly. They can click around a virtual house and see what changes they can make. There's lots of hyperlinks and resources to assess which options are best for them. We're in the process of updating it, so it's not quite aligned fully, but the majority of it is still very relevant. It's all, there's only a few things that won't necessarily jive, and then we're also trying to add all that financial incentive and information to it as well. So update forthcoming, but that will be sort of, if you need more information on how to obtain some of these requirements or need more information, please visit that tool. Again, the blog post, Going Green for Less. Our Built Green verifiers are a wealth of information. We have some that have done many, remodels in the past and certified them. And they are great consultants to bring in for HVAC sizing or trying to figure out how, does this material meet this specification? How do I navigate? What are some resources? And they can help educate your homeowners and walk them through that process as well. And then the Built Green team. If you have any questions or you're not sure if the scope fits or, is something eligible or not eligible or how that would work, please feel free to contact our team and we can assist and answer any questions you have. And with that, thank you.